But our brand has massively expanded within 2 years, and we're going to share with you guys some of the techniques and what we did to achieve that.
What's great about FinCon is you have sessions that talk about how to become more profitable. You talk about sessions how to make your podcast better. You got sessions for every aspect of what you do with your brand. And we're going to talk about one of the key grassroots efforts that you definitely need to focus on. And all too often, we take a blind eye to because we're so focused on profitability. And that's the expansion of your audience, because it doesn't matter how great your product may be if you don't have the audience, not just the numbers, but the audience that has buy-in with you. Because if they don't like you, if they don't get you, they're not going to buy from you. So we're going to talk about some of the things that we did to expand our audience. And it's kind of out of the box. It's not something that a lot of people know about, the multiple intelligence theory. A lot of people saw that on the thing and was like, yep, not going to that presentation. But that's okay. We're glad that you're here.
Right.
Okay? So we're going to start back with a little bit of self-reflection for you. What made you start? I know a lot of people are here for the first time, and you may just be starting out in this journey in the personal finance world. But it was something. It was something that made you take your story from just a personal story to an online platform or to a brick and mortar service-oriented business. There was something that made you start, and you need not forget that. Even when we go through everything and we show you how to do this and you start to get the expanded audience, you need not forget why you started. Because if you lose sight of why you started, your message will begin to get tarnished.
Absolutely.
And when your message begins to get tarnished, you begin to become a turnoff for the consumer. See, we're in a new day. It's not just about the people on TV talking about personal finance, the big names that we all know, but more and more people are looking for people that they can relate to. That's you and I. And in order for them to know that you are relatable, they have to know that you care. And for a lot of us, that's what made us start, was the fact we had a story, we had a skill set, we had a background that could help people get to a better place with their finances. And that's why we started. For us, we started kind of similarly too. It all started here at this little establishment.
Right, Uncle Julio's. Now,
do y'all know what Uncle Julio's is? Who got an Uncle Julio's in their area?
Oh, really?
Y'all are missing out.
It's like the best Mexican restaurant.
Gosh.
There he is. Yes, yes. So this is where we first got our start. I am an identical twin sister. I have an identical twin sister. Some of you guys may know me. My sister and I had a brand prior to my husband and I building His and Her Money. We've been on television. We've done pretty well for ourselves. But it came to a point where she started to have children, I started to have children, and our interest started to kind of go away from the topic that we were focusing on, which was couponing. And my husband and I loved finance. We always did from day one. A lot of couples would come and seek our advice. And so we're like, man, maybe we should create a platform where we can help everybody. But I knew never to bring that up to my husband, because my husband was always the background type of person, okay? He never, don't put a mic in his hand, none of that, okay? You wouldn't even believe it. He is such an introvert. And one day we were sitting we were sitting at Uncle Julio's on a date night. We were probably dreaming, like we tell all of our followers to do. And my husband said, you know what? I would love to do something with you. I'm like, really?
Not that.
What? Right. And I said, okay. He said, no, I would love to create a platform and a brand where we can talk to everybody. And I almost dropped the mic. I said, you want to go in front of a camera, in front of people? I mean, this man, and he could tell you best, he did not get a degree because he does have a degree. He has 2 masters, by the way. But
say it again.
Yeah, he has 2 masters, by the way. But one of his degrees he did not complete because he was terrified of speaking in front of people. Mm-hmm. And he needed to take a class on communication. Yep. And he was terrified. Speech, right? Mm-hmm. So he said, no, never.
Never took it.
Never took it, right? And so we said, okay, well, yes, let's create a platform. And we came up with the name His and Her Money. And I said, oh, that name has to be taken.
Gotta be.
Gotta be. I pulled out my phone. I went to GoDaddy, and it was like, it's available. It's like, okay, God, are you really saying something to us? It's available. We could do this. And so that's where we first started, was here at a table eating Mexican food. I don't know what it was, but it was good. And his and her money was born.
The thing about it was, we had been helping people locally for years, right? Everybody knew our story, how we got out of debt, how our marriage started, the rockiness surrounding the financial situation, how we went through bouts with unemployment and didn't get caught up in that. We were able to still survive all that. So we were helping people. But we was like, man, we could expand this thing. We could help more people. There it is. We could help more people if we take this online. And so that's what got it started. That's what helped me to get over my fear. That's what helped me put my quote unquote nature to the side and said, you know what, I can help people. I can help people. That's why most of us got started. It's because in our mind, we figured that we could help people. It wasn't to become rich, although that is cool. But we got started because we wanted to help people. And so that's what's going to propel you to do what we're asking you to do, is you constantly remembering that. Because let me tell you something, it ain't easy. We're not going to give you no magic tricks. I don't got no rabbit to pull out the hat. I'm not going to saw her in half. We are not magicians. We're going to tell you to do stuff that's going to make you uncomfortable. We were willing to make ourselves uncomfortable because we wanted to help people. That's why we started by asking you to reflect on why you got started. You didn't come to FinCon just to learn how to make more money with your brand, although that's cool. You came here because you wanted your brand to become better so that you could help more people. So when we start to ask you to do some uncomfortable stuff, remember that. Remember that. I'm going to help more people this way. Remember that. This guy right here is a genius. His name's Dr. Howard Gardner. My background, my wife talked about my degrees. I am an educator, literally. I work in the school system. Right now I'm a school administrator, but I started off as a special education teacher. And one of the things that we had to learn was that all students do not learn the same way. That's the mistake in our school system still to this day, is that we stand up, the teacher's here, the students are there, we talk. We give them a worksheet, we give them a test, we give them a quiz, and say, do your best. Problem is, only some of the students receive the information because the message was given to some of their learning styles. But the truth is, all students learn in different ways. So this guy, Harvard professor, Dr. Howard Gardner, came up with what's known as the multiple intelligence theory. The multiple intelligences theory. And what that says is there's actually not one way that people learn information. There are 8 ways. There are 8 different ways that people learn. So if you're only giving your content from your brand in one way, you're only helping a small amount of people. But your goal is to help a lot of people, right? Am I right about that, or am I just making assumptions? Okay. So if we want to help a lot of people, we got to make sure that we're teaching them in the way that they learn, because everybody learns differently. And so with me having this knowledge from my training, I said we need to incorporate this into what we do. A lot of people told us, man, y'all doing too much. Y'all everywhere. Mm-hmm. We know.
That's on purpose.
We know. Because we came into this thing saying it doesn't matter about the numbers, although they are nice. We said 1, 2, 3 people show up to hear what we got to say. We're going to give them everything we got. Mm-hmm. And that includes making sure that they're learning. A real educator is not just a teacher, but they want to make sure that who they're teaching is learning. So that's how we get here. Multiple intelligence theory. 8 different ways: naturalistic, visual, logical, interpersonal, musical, intrapersonal, verbal, and kinesthetic. And we'll go through these a little bit, and then we'll talk about how they apply to what you do and how you can do it better. Verbal linguistic, right? One of the best communicators ever. No matter what your political affiliation may be, he's a good speech. He's a good orator. And so a verbal linguistic learner can listen to a speech and they can learn. The problem is this is the way that we do it. This is the way that we do it. all day, every day. This is the traditional form of educating. It's oral. That's good for some people. A verbal linguistic learner can hear a speech, can retain the information, can take good notes, and can apply what they're learning. Remember, there are 8 different ways, though. Okay? So that's the first one. Number 2 is visual spatial learner. They are good with pictures. They are good with video. If you hand them a book, they don't know what is in it. They have no desire to read. And if they do read, they're just reading the words. They're just going through the motions. And when you give them a call to action, they don't know what to do, even though you wrote it really well. They didn't get it. They didn't receive it. Remember, teaching is not about what's coming out. It's about what's received, what's held on to, and what is able to be walked out. Logical mathematical. Listen, these are our people. These are y'all. These are people that are good with numbers. They love numbers. They love spreadsheets. I'm not that guy. But they love to see the numbers, the logic behind it, how step-by-step sequential things equal this result. That's the mathematical, logical learner. Musical. Some people can learn about life by listening to Al Green, right? Their whole life is wrapped up in what the music of the day is telling them, right? And that's okay. I think a lot of times, if you notice, and I'm steadily referring to school system, but one of the first things to go when there's a budget crisis like there is in Chicago right now is what? Arts, music, right? Because we don't value those type of learners. Just the people that read books and like calculators. Those are the things that we need to focus on. But the fact is that geniuses have this as their learning style. Geniuses. But we don't look at them as geniuses. We just look at them as talented. That's a mistake. Because we can be intelligent in more than one way. And some of your followers and some of the people who you missed the opportunity to follow you have this as their intelligence. Remember, the goal is what? To help more people, not just to help people like you. Not just to help the people that learn the way you learn. For those of you that are married, you know that you have to learn your spouse's love language, right? Because if you give them love in your style and it's not their style, you failed. It's no different here. No different here. You think you wrote this awesome, bomb, 10,000 word super post. Oh, they gonna love this. And then when it comes to my inbox, I'm hitting the delete button. Because I don't roll with 10,000 words. That's about 8,500 too many. Okay? It's going to hit some people, but you need to give it to me in the way that I need it. For some people, it needs to involve some type of music. Intrapersonal. Some people are very, very introspective. That's me, right? I need content that makes me think, reflect, and allows me to see me in the message. Too often, as influencers, we talk about things that are great to us and why we feel a certain way and why we believe in this system and why we believe in this strategy without helping people to realize how they can use this in their life and why it would be beneficial to them. Because an intrapersonal person needs to see it applicable to them. Interpersonal, those are the people like her. Okay? Those are people that just go up, talk, share their hearts, talk about what's going on, and just love to talk to people. That's not me. Don't take it personally if you walk up to me and I'm awkward, I'm sorry. But I'm not that guy. I'm working at it, though. I'm working at it. But people like that need to have that connection. What does that mean for you? You need to be personable, right? You need to be relatable for me to be able to learn from you. I need to get you. I need to feel you. I need to think, at least think, that you actually care about me in order for me to learn and receive the information that you're trying to give to me. Visual spatial, again, it's all about sight. Your website needs to look like something. You got quiet on that one. Your website needs to look like something. I know we all start somewhere. We ain't all got to stay there. I know we launched with our own thing. We went on and we said, yeah, I could do this. I could, yeah, ooh, 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 boom, go live. I mean, but that's been 5 years, bruh. Time for an update. Time for an update. Because for some people, they come to your website, and no matter how much of a genius you are, they're leaving because your website is ugly. And we love you. Sorry. But you have to appeal to this type of person with your design, with your graphics. It has to be appealing for them to even care about what you are saying. Naturalistic. These people are kind of weird. But we love them anyway. They're all about, like it says, nature. They're all about the world, saving the planet, saving the whales. We need people like that. So how does that make sense for us? Well, for some people, they need to know how what they're doing can have an impact on the world, whether that's reducing their footprint, whether that's allowing them to travel. They need to feel like budgeting makes sense because in the end, I'm doing the right thing for nature. That's tough, but there are people that learn this way. They have to relate it back somehow, some way to doing right by the world. You can do that. You guys are pretty creative. So now let's talk about how we can take all eight of these learning styles and begin to incorporate that into what we do every day. Yes, sir. Yes. Yep. I'm going to put this slide up. Naturalistic. Visual. Take your phones out. Take a picture. Logical. Interpersonal. Musical. Intrapersonal. Verbal. And kinesthetic. And our slides are also on the app, so make sure you download the FinCon app. All right? Everybody get the screen, everybody get the shot. All right, take your time. See, I'm appealing to how everybody learns.
True.
We good? Okay, I see a few more cameras out. Ma'am? Kinesthetic. They need to feel, right? So for some people, those people tend to learn better with action, walking it out, or those people like physical books, right? So some of us have books on our hard drives that just are collecting dust, but they enjoy the turning of the pages, right? It appeals to their senses in their fingers, and it opens up and expands their thought processes and able to interpret what's being taught. Yes, ma'am.
So would the kinesthetic be like people who learn from, let's say, you have a chemistry class and you have the lab?
Yep, they love labs. They love labs. So you guys need to start making tutorials, right, where they actually are doing the budget. They see what you're telling them to do, step one, then they do step one. You give them step two, then they do step two. So your material needs to be actionable because they learn better by doing. Cool? Visual content.
Now, first, I just want to mention this. When my husband and I started 2 years ago, I purposely never reached out to my other brand that I had with my sister to like say, oh yeah, come and check out His and Her Money, check out what we're doing. I truly wanted to start His and Her Money from the bottom because I didn't want it to be because someone knew who I was. And now today we have people that are saying, oh, wait a minute, you that girl with the twin, you never told us that. I purposely never told them that because I wanted to see how far we can get with this message here. So we started from the bottom, like some of you guys are starting from the bottom as well, too, and we still continue to do that. I still don't share it Matter of fact, we're not even doing anything with that particular brand, and we're just moving forward with his and her
So
money.
especially with you all, so many of you all lifted your hand and said, this is your first FinCon. And for some of you all, that means that you're just getting started. And this, what we've done as far as expansion of our audience, has been only 2 years old. 2 years. Lots of hard work over those 2 years, but 2 years. So be careful. Number one, there's a great quote by John Acuff, right? I think many of us have heard it before, but it's especially paramount when we're in these situations, right? Because it's easy to compare and contrast where somebody else is compared to where you are. But he says, never compare somebody else's middle to your beginning. Never compare somebody else's middle to your beginning, right? Because we're all on our own journeys. We're all walking down our own paths. But take what we're telling you and just begin to implement step by step. But don't be discouraged if you look at your left or your right neighbor, and man, they're just blowing up, because it's easy to get discouraged. And you have to remember why you started. You didn't start to blow up. You started because you wanted to help somebody.
So visual content is one way that you can help a certain audience, and that's going to look like your Instagram pictures, video as well. You reach an entire different audience by having video. I cannot stress that enough. Talaat and I have a YouTube channel that, in our opinion, it does pretty well, but it's because we have a lot of visual learners. A lot of our YouTubers never, ever even listened to a podcast that we had. Never, ever read a blog post on our website. But they are faithful viewers of our YouTube channel. Some of you guys sitting in here do very well with video. Peach, Brittany from Pennies and Pearls, and even Sandy does an excellent job with that. Your Periscope, Facebook Live. I know that a lot of social media can be very overwhelming.
Yes.
And most times we're like, oh, another platform. I'm not going to learn this. Learn it. Because there are going to be a certain amount of people that are going to just strictly learn from that particular avenue. Facebook Live is big right now. So one thing that we do is, because we have a Periscope following, we also set up Facebook Live now. So when we're shooting Periscope, we have Facebook Live going on at the same time. So we have a phone set up as well as our tablet set up, and we're talking to 2 different audiences at the same time.
So again, remember, let me take a quick survey. How many of us have, because I know the answer, how many of us have, for our brands, active Instagram accounts? I would say about 40%.
Instagram is amazing.
About 40%. About 40%. But there's a whole group of people that you're losing out on if you're not on Instagram.
Yeah.
There's a whole group of people that you're not serving.
So true.
By not being on Instagram. Listen, ladies, gentlemen, you're going to have to put yourselves to the side in the name of service, right? So I know when my wife mentioned YouTube, a lot of people just put their head down and just was like, started looking around like, I'm not going on camera. You got to remember the mission. The mission is to serve people. My wife alluded to it earlier, right? Got 3 degrees, but the first time I went to college, did not go so well. So I enlisted into the military at 17 years old, right? Because I was done with school, I was done with sports. I turned down football scholarships, and I just wanted to go into the military and just do my own thing. But the problem was I was 17. So therefore, my parents had to sign off and say that it was okay. My dad was all about it. He was military, so I was just following in his footsteps. Mama wasn't trying to let her baby go.
He's the only child, yeah.
Mama wasn't trying to let
wouldn't
her
either.
baby go. So I had to make a deal with her. She said, now promise me that you're going to go to college while you're in. I said, Mama, I'm going to do it. So I kept my promise. And I just said, I'll just do a little associate's degree in general studies, because I didn't know what I wanted to do with myself. So general studies allows you to just be general. And so I went for it, right? I was knocking classes out. Then I went to the counselor. I said, come on, man, like, I've been doing this for a minute. Like, am I almost done or what? And she said, you got one more class. All right, cool. Sign me up. Speech. I was like, hold on. Hold on. What you speech? Define. What you mean? I know how to talk. What you talking about? And so it's public speaking. Public speaking, like her telling me that it was public speaking made me nervous. Just her telling me terrified me. And so I never took that class. So I never got that degree. Yet I'm standing in front of all y'all
Doing a great job.
for some reason. Right? But the point is, naturally, I am not the type to grab a microphone and talk in front of people. I'm way better talking one-on-one. But in front of people, it's not in my nature. To this day, I'm really faking right now. Y'all don't believe me, but I am.
No, he's not.
We were on a national TV show 2 days ago, right? And you won't see it when it comes out, but I was literally shaking. Literally. Not figuratively. I was sitting on that couch, holding tightly onto the armrest because it's not in my nature. But we went there not to be famous. We went there because we knew the message that we were giving was going to save somebody's marriage. So I had to put myself to the side in the name of service. So remember, at the beginning, I told you we're going to ask you to do some stuff that's going to make you uncomfortable. But you're doing it because you want to help people. You're going to keep hearing us say that because you're going to keep needing to be reminded of that when you want to put your head down, when we tell you get on YouTube, when we tell you get on Periscope. You have to do it because you want to help those people that learn that way. Listen, I'm telling you. Listen. Everybody lean in. Everybody lean in. Listen to me. Listen to me. I don't care about your mega post. I don't. So if you just keep writing mega posts, I'm not going to learn anything from you. You're not going to help me. You're not. But when I see Peach drops a YouTube video, I'm right there. What's up, Peach? I'm all in when Sandy goes live on Periscope. What up, Sandy?
Our Periscopes are great.
They got my attention. When Steve or Jay drops a podcast, I can listen to it on my way to work. They got my attention. But y'all just at the keyboard doing this. Y'all don't have my attention. Y'all don't have my attention. And so you can't help me. You can't help me or the people that are like me. You can only help the people that are like you. And that's not why you got into this. Next. You want to write content that allows you for reflection. That's the interpersonal people. And action. That's the intraperson people. That's the kinesthetic learners. So your writing needs to allow for self-reflection of the reader, not just you doing a heart dump. That's cool sometimes because that allows you to be relatable. But every now and then, and more often than not, you need to be writing in a way that makes me think about my situation and what I'm doing wrong and what I need to do better. And then you need to leave me with action steps. Like, don't just write philosophical pieces and I get to the end. I'm like, what am I supposed to do, bruh? How do I get better? I'm glad you're feeling better. But what about me? It has to be actionable. You got to give me something to do so that I can prove my situation. Everybody got the picture? All right. Write that book. Y'all been talking about it for years. I know you have. Got this great idea, get about 25% of the way and just give up. Say, ain't nobody gonna care about this. I don't feel like doing it. I'm tired. Listen, we tired too. Okay? I work outside the home. She's chasing around 3 kids all day. We tired. So we do that all day. Then we get together for dinner. Then with the kids. Then we put them to sleep. And then we got to start this stuff. And go all night. Because we want to help people. That's why we do it. That's why we everywhere. We ain't trying to be famous. Those of you that know us know that. That what I'm saying is for real. We are trying to help people. It's the only reason we do what we do. And everything else just comes as a result of us authentically, genuinely trying to help people. So pull out your laptop, write that book.
Yeah, and some of you don't even have to physically write it. We were just speaking with someone the other day who they can look at your YouTube videos and
If you own YouTube.
right, if you're on YouTube. And yeah. Or your podcast as well. Or
If
your
you got a podcast.
yeah, or your periscopes, and they can write out a book for you simply by using your own content. So you don't have to be great at writing. You don't have to be great at editing or doing any of that stuff. Just be great at what you're doing, and you can find someone that can take that content, pull it all out, and put it in a book.
Let them hear you. Listen, we have a resident expert of how to start a podcast right here, right? Steve is the man.
Yes,
Steve
he
Stewart,
is.
not me. Okay? See him.
Yes, he is.
Because a lot of you won't start a podcast because you think it's super hard to get going, and it's not. Like, he breaks it down smooth, and you can do it. It's not a bunch of expensive equipment. It's not. You just got to get it done. Again, podcasts are blowing up,
They
right,
are.
Peach? Podcasts are blowing up.
Yeah,
This
they are.
is the new way that people are getting their information.
Yep.
And you're not there.
Yeah. So we visited a restaurant about a month ago in our city, Chicago, and we were ordering our food, and the woman there was like, "Oh my gosh, are you all his and her money?" And I'm like, "Yes." I had no makeup on. I'm like, "Yes, I can be his and her money." And she said, "Oh my gosh, the reason why I'm sitting here right now working, this is my second job, is because I listen to you guys on your podcast show. Every day when I'm going to work, I listen to your podcast show. Because of your message, this is why I'm here, so I can get out of debt." That was so rewarding. She didn't have to say that, but that let me know that what we're doing is not in vain. It's helping somebody.
Speak your mind. Again, you guys are going to have to put your fear to the side like me and get yourself a microphone. You're going to start going to libraries, churches, organizations, speaking the message that's inside of you. Because some people do learn in this format. Some people do receive information this way. So put your terror to the side and start to learn how to speak publicly and go do it. Go do it. You do want to help people, right? Yeah. I'm glad you do. I'm glad you do.
Yeah.
Hello? Hello?
He raised his
Okay,
hand.
I'm just making sure. We do want to help people, right?
Yes.
Oh. So sometimes you're going to have to grab a mic and fake it like I'm doing right now. And you're going to have to give people what they need in the way that they can receive it. You're going to have to, if that is truly your goal. Here it is. All right, everybody put their head down again. Listen, 2016, you have to do video.
You have to.
You can go to any brand coach, business coach, whoever. They're going to tell you to do video. That's because you got to do video. People are learning from YouTube, from Facebook.
They're not even watching television anymore. They watch
People
YouTube.
are cutting the cord
Yep.
every day. But they still want to watch something. That's where you come in and provide that content. I think it's about, I don't know, it's about 1,200 people here at FinCon. I think there's about 10 of us on YouTube. Wow. So if you want just me and Peach to get everything, that's cool. That's cool. But we could be a much more effective community if we embrace video content. The reason you have to embrace video content is because that's where the trends are going. Your blog posts are great. Listen, I'm not against, I keep referring to that.
You could turn
But
your
if
videos
that's,
into blog
if
posts.
that's all you're doing, you're not serving your community well. Bottom line up front. If that's all you're doing, you're not serving your community well. You're just like the traditional school system, giving information in one way and wondering why your tested scores keep going down. You got to give people what they need in a way that they can receive it. So get yourself a camera or an iPhone, hit record, and upload it. Here's the great thing about video. Listen, if it didn't look good, delete it and hit the record button again. And if you need to delete it again, delete it and hit the record button again until it's right. It's okay. You just got to get it done. You have to get it done if service is your goal. This is where you should be.
Yep.
This is where you should be. All of them. Does that feel overwhelming? Good. This is where you need to be. Even though it feels overwhelming. Because you're trying to help people. Told you you're going to feel uncomfortable by the end. But I also told you to remember why you started. You didn't start your brand to become famous. You didn't. You started to serve people. So if you really want to serve people, I need to see y'all on here. You know why Ty and I really wanted to do this presentation for you guys? I'll let you in on a little secret. We realize we can't reach everybody, even though we're everywhere. Some people don't identify with us. They identify with you. We were quite comfortable just coming to FinCon and hanging out with the crew, because we just love hanging with the FinCon folks. But we figured we could help somebody. So we submitted this presentation.
At the last minute.
At the last, literally.
We did.
It was like,
we
had to have it in, like, they sent out an email, like, here's last chance to submit. Like, maybe we should do something. Because we know that there are thousands of people who love y'all that don't know who we are, and that's cool. That's another great aspect of FinCon. Everybody's here to help everybody. You'll learn that, especially for you all that are new. We don't withhold, like, get away from me. This is my thing. But no, a lot of other blog conferences are like that. We've been to quite a few. Not here. And so the reason we're yelling at you right now and making you feel bad about yourself is because we want you guys here to help the people that are attached to you. Because we don't want to just expand our audience. We want to expand the message that FinCon people have within them for their sake. For their sake. There are people everywhere struggling. There are people everywhere with questions that you have the answer to. If you're part of the FinCon community, you don't get to be average. You don't get to be average. And anything or any time that you seek to become above average takes work. It doesn't magically happen. The reason Phil started this was so that each one of us can become better with our message. Because we don't get to be average because of them. We got constant messages from people saying we saved their marriage, their life. People are contemplating suicide over their financial situation. Those type of thank yous are better than any brand contract that we could sign. So we do what we do, and you have to start to do these things for their sake. This is why you got to put your fears to the side for their sake. Because they are losing their mind. And you got the answer. You're not here by accident. Ty and I do all this because we realize that we were created to do this. You're not here by accident. You were created with a purpose and a destiny inside of you. Everything that you went through with your finances, every book that you read, every test that you took, every certification that you have is for a purpose. To help them.